Why would I want to withdraw a million, 100,000, 700,000 at 60 years old just so I can avoid the tax penalty?
I really think our society is trash. It is teaching young people absolutely nothing about financial literacy. You think you would have learned from my generation, but no. You guys are setting up to be cooked. Subscribe. Let's talk about it.
And I ain't gonna cap, when I was in high school, I used to love the idea of a Roth IRA, but then I thought about it and I said, why the fuck would I want to withdraw $1 million at 60 years old, nigga? The fuck I'm gonna do with $1 million at 60 years old, brother? Man, they get that shit to my children, bro. I had grandchildren by then, shit, nigga. Hey, somebody like, why would I want to withdraw a million, 100,000, 700,000 at 60 years old just so I can avoid the tax penalty? What? That don't make no damn sense, brother. Give me my shit now. Overly.
I don't know how we completely screwed up the idea of delayed gratification, but we have absolutely missed the mark in teaching young people, especially Black Americans, how important, how critical that is to your actual future. We have this weird concept when we're young, we think we're gonna be young forever, then we become absolutely obsessed with aging, but in all the wrong categories. We become obsessed with all the creams, all the fancy Botox, all the serums, everything we else can do to remain and look young, but we never look at our pockets and say, what is going to happen? What is the name of the game? If you think you were meant to work every single day of your life, I feel sad for you. And it's not one of those things that is only available to the ultra with and their families. No, you got to be judicious early on about how this game is going to be played out. I'm 40. I'm constantly talking to my friends about our specific retirement scenarios, what it looks like, what is the name of the game, what do you want, and how do you want to exist? Do you want to retire in the United States? Do you want to retire elsewhere? What does any of that look like? What are your specific conditions now? What do you anticipate happening? But if right now if you're in your youth and you can't understand the point of what are you going to do with $1 million when you're 60, retire, right? Retire, use that into some other investment vehicle. We constantly make the assumption that things are going to be more and more expensive. Cool. I want to deploy as many options as possible. But before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. We do lives, and if you don't get, and sometimes they're random. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes they're random. We're going to hit the random one in a couple of minutes after I finish this last video for the day. But hopefully you get those because you subscribed and the notification bell is doing its thing. Besides that, hype the video, share the video. We got merch in the store. So listen, a lot of times we talk about protecting the brand. One of those is you being able to anticipate your needs going forward. You need to have a stranglehold on your finances. You need to be directing these things with a purpose, with an idea, not just crossing your fingers and hoping things get better. If you're paying attention, as the older you get, the more you kind of forced to pay attention, you start seeing that shit. I do not have as much control as I think, especially when your money's the market. You don't get to send out a tweet and destabilize the market or send the market into a catastrophic high. You don't have that ability. You don't. So you're going to be like the rest of us. We got to play the long game. We got to play smart. We got to play patient. And when you're young, you have all the time in the world, yet you have none of the discipline, none of the experience, none of the critical things that are going to say, hey, delayed gratification is the name of the game. Yeah, it sucks, but you don't have to go as hard early on as you have to do when you're trying to play makeup. If I was in this position and have nothing put away for retirement right now, I'm going to have to put away the majority of my paycheck. Now I got to do the James Ramsey. I got to eat beans and rice. I got to suffer in order. And for years, for the rest of my time here in the workforce, I have to work as long as possible and live as meagerly as possible because I squandered how many of the years in the workforce. When you have this silly idea, this silly mentality when you're younger, that what am I going to do with that? And I'm not just want to harp on him, but also in the Black community, I've seen other creators, other videos talking about cash out that 401k, pay the penalty, because who knows if you're even going to live that long. I can't answer that. But what if, when we make the assumptions of things going wrong, let's also make the assumption of things going right. What if you live that long? What if you make it, you go the distance? What are we supposed to think then? What's the name of the game then? You find yourself in your elder years, in your golden years, and you don't have a golden parachute. The name of the game is, I got to continue to work. If you have any type of sense, when you're looking at the state of play now, when you look at how quickly AI is ruining jobs. Whenever you see a kiosk stand that's a self-serve, that was one of the earliest indicators, like, hey, we don't really need as many workers as we thought we did. Okay, now you can order things from your phone. Okay, now you have bots that drive down the sidewalk ready to deliver your food. I thought that was another job. I was in the airport the other day, and you see the thing that cleans the floors. There's no one actually wielding it, no one driving it. AI can do it. If we're trusting AI to drive you around, what else are we going to trust AI with? How soon before you're out of any type of specific job or any type of skill, you don't have the general sense of, hey, it could do this, it could do this. The things that you're left to do, especially as you get older, they're not just specific, because one, if you were someone in that workforce for such a long time, you've amassed raises, increases over time. But you're doing the same job that a new hire can do. You just have the tenure and expertise. Well, I may be willing to let go of a lot of that now that I have an AI companion to help me out, to ease the gap between someone that's new and your level of experience. But I know I might be saving something like $50,000 paying someone new to do your job. It's a business deal. It's a business decision. I've got to make sure the shareholders still have value. That's my job as CEO. That's my job. So if you don't have the right skill set, if you don't have the right mindset, the saying that the job market is going to be even more scarce when it's time for me to get out of it. I should be saving as much as possible when I'm young. I don't want to find myself in a position where I'm scrambling, I'm fighting tooth and nail. Where you see people today that have put in hundreds of applications for jobs and not gotten a call back. Or they applied for something and got a ghost job and they went on 7 different interviews and there was never a position available for them. Right now is the time to be smart, to think slow and be judicious with your savings. Things should go here, things should go here, things should go here. The fun, that's the thing you got to cut back on. And it's hard because that's the only thing that seems to be important and matter today. But there's always going to be another party. There's always going to be another event. There's always going to be another Coachella. There's always going to be something else to distract you so you can spend more of your time on that. Because the real truth is time just marches forward. You think you have a lot of time, but when you put your head down, you start thinking about projects that are going to take you years, like this YouTube channel. I'm in it with the idea that it's going to take me 4 or 5 years to get some real traction going. When you sit down and you put your head down and do the work, months pass very quickly. When you seriously come about how am I going to perfect this thing, and you know that takes time, the one aspect you can't cheat of that game, time marches on. Before you know it, you'll be in a job for 2 years, 5 years. And you have 5 years where you could have been contributing to that Roth or to whatever investment vehicle there is. Then it becomes, well, I waited too long. Let me not even try to start. It's easier for you to not initiate something because, hey, I should have done this 7 years ago. Now 7 turns to 10. And the people that have been invested, they're looking and say, this is starting to catch some fire. I had some very good years in the market. I'm doing very well. I couldn't be happier with what this is. Now you look and say, I should have started 10 years ago. Well, let me catch up now. Now it's taking a substantial amount of your check, even though you're making more than you were 10 years ago. Now it seems oppressive. Now it seems harsh. Back then, it would have required you to put $200 away a month. Now we need $2,000. Now you say, I can't do it. I can't afford that. Back then, you probably could afford the $200. So it's trying to impart this idea that, yeah, the party time, it may not be as frequent. The reward is going to take a little time. But I believe the longer you defer that little goal, that little happiness, the greater it is when you finally achieve it, the more real it feels because you've earned it. It's hard to think about that. I'm trying to do myself a favor, my future self a favor today, but that's probably the best way of looking at some of these things. Anything that takes time, try to think about, I'm doing myself a favor tomorrow. Do the best you can today, say good, do it again tomorrow. Put your head down, do the work, and before you know it, you'll see the rewards before you're 60. You'll see that you're leagues above your colleagues. You'll see that people come to you and say, yo, what should I have done? And you say, you should have done it years ago. But listen, if you may have a different outlook. You may think that it's better to enjoy yourself right now. And if you do, let me know down in the comments below. If you see all the videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you made it to the end of the video, I think you understand about protecting the brand. You understand how important that is. And of course, we're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.